Do you find yourself losing squaddies left and right, getting outflanked and losing your favorite squad leader, or just can't figure out how the heck you're supposed to survive that first operation? It's no secret Menace can be a brutal game, being from the same team that made Battle Brothers, so if you're struggling a bit or maybe just need a few more ideas on how to win more and lose less, then let's talk about the best ways to move around the battlefield, when to bring your vehicles, how to gear up, and more. When moving up the map, before making contact with the enemy, make sure to only move a few spaces at a time and leave enough action points to retreat back if needed. This will allow you to scout out an enemy position without revealing your own and keep you concealed. Concealment is shown by the little crossed out eye icon on your unit's emblem. As long as your unit is concealed, the enemy cannot see you and generally will not move towards you unless they happen to be patrolling in your direction. Even if you do become visible during your turn, as long as you have enough movement to retreat back to a concealed position, the enemy will not notice you. So moving slowly and staying concealed will allow you to get your whole force into firing position before exposing yourself to the enemy. Doing this, you can overwhelm single units before they can react, and as long as no other units are nearby, you will be concealed again after taking them out. Your starting vehicle is mostly crap for what it costs supply-wise to bring to battle, but it does have one very important early advantage. It has a machine gun. This gun is able to effectively suppress most early enemies, making it an invaluable resource even if it means bringing less squads on a mission. When you first start up the game, you will have crappy carbines that have basically no suppression power and do very little damage. Suppressing enemies with your vehicle's machine gun will be invaluable to keeping your squads alive until you are able to get better squad weapons with more suppression and damage. Whenever possible, bring as many squaddies with each squad leader as you can. This may go without saying, but more squaddies means more guns, means more bullets downrange, and better suppression. Plus, the squaddies will act as meat shields for your squad leader and keep them alive longer. Now, later in a campaign, once you have more options, it might make sense to have a small sniper team or machine gun crew so that you can bring more squads along, some specialized like these two that are smaller, along with full assault squads with no specials. In the early game though, just throw manpower at your enemies. In the early game, especially your first operation, you will not have enough firepower or even ammo to successfully 100% most missions. Completing extra objectives just awards you more promotion points for your squad leaders anyway, and this early in the game, tradable resources gained from completing primary objectives are much more important so that your squads can get their hands on decent weapons and armor. Plus, trying to complete the extra secondary objectives can cost you squaddies, which you have no good way of replacing early on either. So save secondary objectives for when you are equipped to handle them and focus on the primary objectives for now. So we just talked about how you can quickly run out of ammo in the early game, so to help remedy that, don't forget to bring along the extra ammo accessory that you start the game with. This will be a lifesaver early on, and even later in the game, any squad who doesn't have a dedicated role with a special weapon will benefit from having the extra ammo. At least one of your squad leaders should have the scout promotion available to them from the beginning. Grab this as soon as you can, as it gives the unit increased view range and detection, allowing you to see enemies before they see you. Pair this with the first tip on moving slowly, and you can effectively scout enemy positions and even possibly snipe enemy units before they even know what hit them. When it comes to getting the first bit of improved kit for your units, better rifles should be at the top of the list. Especially look for the weapons that have a higher suppression value and those that have the suppressive fire ability. Getting these weapons will not only give you some of that suppression power that is so vital to be effective in this game, but also give you much improved damage to enemy units in the process, which in itself also leads to better suppression as units can gain suppression when losing squaddies. This will also allow you to leave your vehicle at home and bring more squads into a mission instead, saving your vehicle for only those missions where it's really needed. Obviously you want to get armor, but this tip is more about when to get it. So after we have some decent firepower, like just mentioned in the previous tip, now it's time to armor up. The first armor you'll have available will be some soft armor on the black market, or maybe some scavenged pirate armor. Either way, getting armor on all of your squads will help them live longer, and help put a slow to your bleeding of squaddies, which again, you can't replace cheaply right now. OCI upgrades are the upgrades for your ship and home base, the Impetus, and can give you anything from better battlefield intel, to medical facilities to keep squaddies alive, to air support for your troops on the ground, and more. However, the first thing you should pick up is the Wayback Outreach Office. This upgrade will automatically give you 2 new squaddies after every mission and start replenishing their ever-dwindling numbers. With this upgrade installed and some careful tactics and missions, you can actually start to grow your pool of squaddies, and losing them in missions won't be as detrimental to your future operations. Of course, you can get multiple of these as well, or even an upgraded version to bring in even more squaddies. Once you have a steady flow of fresh blood, you should then go for the Strafing Run upgrade. This airstrike is great for taking out bunched up enemy squads that are either entrenched or pinned down. You don't want to use this on an enemy that is likely to move, as it takes about a round of combat for the strike to actually happen. It isn't instant. But on those enemies stuck in position, it will absolutely wreck anything that has minimal armor. After a couple of units have some suppression power, it pays to equip a unit with some battle rifles. These have low suppression, but great range and decent armor piercing for primary squad weapons. Equip these on your squad with a scout ability, and they can do some force recon, picking off isolated enemy units before they even know what hit them. In addition, the armor piercing makes them useful in a pinch against light vehicles or lightly armored bugs, though I'd still recommend using rockets on them if you can. When fighting pirate forces, you'll often pick up some of their weapons after a battle. These weapons, however, generally suck with terrible stats and, in some cases, chances to jam, and should just be sold to get the better hardware found on the black market. Maybe for a mission or two, they could help you get by, but once you get anything better than your carbines, you should just sell every pirate weapon you find. Generally, you want to have a lot of suppression power when fighting most forces you come up against in Menace. However, when fighting the bugs, you just need straight up damage. Bugs cannot be suppressed, but they can be broken and made to flee if you do enough damage. So bring some battle rifles and leave the machine guns at home when dealing with insect infestations. Menace is a tough game, and the first few missions can be a pain to survive, and even later missions will continue to challenge you as new enemies and weapons are introduced. These tips though will hopefully help you get off to a strong start, and some will continue to be useful down the line, hopefully helping you succeed where others may fail. Remember to like and subscribe for more tactics content, including more on Menace, then watch this video next. Thank you so much for watching, have a great day, and keep on gaming.